Hey everyone! Okay, so I don't typically do so much nonfiction. It is one of my favorite things to read, but it's not typically back to back to back to back. So I do have a reason. When my library was about to close because of the coronavirus, I went through my list and went on the library's website to see what was available that I didn't have to wait on. I could just go and check it out. And I think all but one book, I got 6 books, and I think only one of them was a fiction book. So that was all that was available to me at the time. So I have another nonfiction book, 3 Women. This was one of the most anticipated nonfiction books that came out last year. I saw it, it kept coming up on all these different lists. So I looked at it and I was like, not so sure if I'm gonna like it. So I just kind of left it alone. Well, lo and behold, it was one of the available books. So I was like, I'm gonna get it. If I don't read it, I don't read it. If I read it, I read it. Who knows what happens? So it's definitely different than what I thought. So the author literally spends 8-ish years with following these 3 women, right? It's about their lives, and it's not like their whole life. It's just like a snippet, like one part of their world. So it's only a certain subject. So it says on the cover that it's about their desire. Sure. What I thought was interesting is that all 3 women are kind of similar in some ways, even though their stories are pretty different. So the first is Maggie, and her timeline goes back and forth. So it goes from her being in high school to now her being an adult. And I want to say she's like 22 or 23. I can't remember exactly, but it keeps going back and forth between those 2 timelines. So when she's in high school to when she's in court. And I can say in court because it literally happens on the first page and a half. It's talking about how she's in court. So I'm not giving anything away, but she is having an affair with her teacher. It didn't last very long because he broke her heart. And she ends up filing charges against him. And the part that was the most interesting was the end, like the trial part. And I don't want to give anything away, I don't want to say what happened, blah, 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 but I thought that was the most interesting part of her story. So we also learn about Lena. She is in a loveless marriage. Her husband won't even kiss her. That's all she wants. Well, she wants more than that, but he won't even kiss her. So she ends up getting in touch with her high school boyfriend, who is also married, and then they have an affair, and there's some other stuff that happens with them. And then the third woman is Sloane, and hers is like the shortest story of the 3. Her husband likes to watch her have sex with other guys. So it's like a threesome, but like not a threesome. So like she's doing it with this other guy, or it can just be them 2 as long as like she's talking to her husband at the same time or recording it and sending it to him later. To each his own, right? So they end up finding the perfect third person, the perfect guy to complete their relationship because that's what makes them happy. And then of course there's some drama there. So that's the 3 women. It was a little different than what I expected. I guess I was expecting to be like, yeah, women taking charge of their sex life. Not so much. It was quite the opposite. I thought it was actually kind of sad. Each woman has a man or men in her life that broke them somehow. And that's what the story is about. It's not about, and not so much about empowerment and sexual empowerment. It's just about how these relationships broke them and then what happened. Each of them have, not each, but they've all experienced either rapes, or some sort of trauma like anxiety, depression, trust issues, an eating disorder, those sorts of things. So that's what comes out of these relationships. The author's writing was different. She was very unconventional, which I kind of liked because it was different. It like kept me like wondering like what was going to happen, I guess. She doesn't use quotations. So when there is dialogue, there are no quotations. It's not like this person said this person said that. So sometimes like I got confused as to who was talking and I was like, wait, and I had to go back and read just to make sure I knew like what was going on. So it took me a minute to get used to that, but I kind of liked it. It's also a little different because it's more of a narration of what's happening in the events. Like I said, it's not so much like it's happening right now. There are like snippets of that, but it's more of a narration of what's happening. And then one thing I didn't really like, there are some parts that are meticulously detailed. Like I thought it was a little too much. I was like, okay, what's next? Like, let's move on. So that's the book. If you're looking for something uplifting, this ain't it. Just want to say that because I was expecting it to be totally different. I thought it was going to be more, like I said, empowering and that sort of thing, but it wasn't. So, I mean, it's fine. I'm glad I read it because now I have a different perspective. I finally read one of the most popular books, and I like to read about people's lives anyway, so it's all good. So that's the book. I'm curious what other people think. I haven't read any, or not yet, I haven't read any reviews on how other people view it. So I'm curious if you've read it. Let me know, because I want to know what other people think about it. I tried not to give too much away. I don't think I gave too much away in this review. I don't think so. I think the cover says more than what I said. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.